All right, you guys, conservative Confucius here. Breaking news from the Paris Olympics. Turns out a Hamas or Hamas connected Palestinian terrorist has threatened the Paris Olympics along with the Parisian people and the French government and anybody who's there visiting for the Olympics. They say the streets will run like rivers of blood because the fact that the Olympics are allowing Israel to compete in the Olympic Games. All right, so let's get into it. And yeah, here we go. So I'll read it off real quiet this down a little bit and read what he's saying so you guys, don't have to make sure you follow the subtitles 100%. In the name of God, our struggle against the
يستمر
Zionist regime
كداؤنا ضد
continues.
الكيان الصهيوني. نوجه
We address the
الرسالة
people of
إلى
France and the
الشعب
French President
الفرنسي
Macron.
وإلى الرئيس الفرنسي ماكرون. لقد دعمتم
You supported the
النظام
Zionist regime
الصهيوني
in its criminal
في
war against the
حربه
people of Palestine.
الإجرامية ضد الشعب الفلسطيني. لقد
You
زودتم
provided Zionists with
الصهاينة
weapons and helped
بالأسلحة
murder our brothers and sisters, our
وساعدتم
children.
في قتل إخوتنا وإخواننا
Ridiculous.
وأطفالنا. لقد
You
قمتم
invited the Zionists
بدعوة
to the Olympic
الصهاينة
Games.
إلى
No, they've just
الألعاب
been allowed to compete like
الأولمبية.
everyone else has.
سوف
You will
تدفعون
pay for
ثمن
what you have
ما
done.
فعلتم. سوف تتدفق
Rivers of blood will
أنهار
flow
من
through the streets of
الدماء
Paris.
في شوارع باريس. وهذا اليوم
This day
قادم
is approaching,
بإذن
God willing.
الله تعالى. الله
Allah
أكبر.
is the greatest. Wow, what the? Yeah, that's a doll, but still, probably got to blur that out. So yeah, let's just try to cover that up. Hold on. There you go. So yeah, Hamas. It was like, yeah, it was Hamas. So Hamas publishes this video. This is by Noah Berg on Twitter, Iranian girl. She posts a lot of stuff that I love. Go check her out. Noah Berg at Noah Berg, or sorry, Neo Berg. Sorry, my bad. Neo Berg at Neo Berg on X. And yeah, I thought that was something that you guys should be focused on. Make sure if you're going to the Olympics, you're very careful. I'd be worried if you were going to the Olympics. I wouldn't go, honestly. There have been many, like, it's not a coincidence that this is happening. In 1972, 11 Palestinian terrorists kidnapped, if I remember correctly, it was like, was it 11? Or no, it was, sorry, 9 Israeli people. They all ended up dead due to the rescue. One of them was killed or something. I think it was, Palestinian terrorists kidnapped 11 Israeli Olympic athletes. 2 of them were killed. The rest were held hostage. And during the rescue, everything went bad because they could see that their building was, the building that they had taken them hostage in was surrounded and they were going to be killed. So instead of just trying to work out things, they killed all the hostages. And it's not a coincidence that this is happening now. Again, in the same year that Adidas tried to put a quote Palestinian, which she's not. She's, her dad is Jordanian, but her dad isn't Jordanian either. He's a descendant of British people who lived in the Middle East during the British occupying, Jordan and Israel and Lebanon and Syria. So when it was British mandate Palestine, his family lived there. So he's not a Jordanian, he's not a Palestinian, he's not a Egyptian. The dude has a little bit of Middle Eastern blood in him through marriage of his like grandparents, but his family line is almost 100% like not Middle Eastern, or his great grandparents. Sorry, one of his great grandparents is like Middle Eastern. The rest are all, not. And his daughter Bella Hadid, so Muhammad Hadid's daughter Bella Hadid, modeled the 1972 retro Olympic gear, the same year that the Israelis were killed by Palestinians at the Olympics. And then the same year the same year they decided to redo those clothing line, or that year's clothing retro gear for the Olympics, is this the same time this is going on. You don't think, like, that's not a coincidence, man. Like, that's not a coincidence. Like, and you may say, well, what were those terrorists holding hostages for? Well, they wanted to have Israel free a whole bunch of terrorists that were arrested for bombings and stabbings and massacres and murders and stonings and all kinds of stuff, beheadings. And they said, no, that's not going to happen. Like, they've committed war crimes and they're going to be in jail for it. And yeah, they weren't happy with that. They never are. And while Israel gets hostages back, innocent civilians and innocent people who weren't just going over into a random town and killing people, while Palestine gets back people who actually stab people, bombers, so terrorists actually, Israel gets back the occasional retired soldier and children, mothers, grandmothers, fathers, and they think, oh, it's justified because at one point every Jewish Israeli, they think every Israeli has to serve in the military. No, every Jewish Israeli does. That's not how it works. And if Israel was all about Jewish supremacy and it was all a Zionist white supremacist state, why would they make the Jews be the one that enroll in the military? It's dangerous to be in the Israeli military. If they were all about supremacy, they would force the people who aren't Jewish in the military, and the people who are Jewish would get exempted because of whatever religious exemption. So the whole argument doesn't hold up. And we need to sit here and look at this, what's going on with this incident in Hamas and the Olympic Games, and say, what led us here and what are they going to do about it? Is it going to be ignored because the far left has completely taken control of Paris, and it's radical is like, I think it's 41%. Sorry, no, that's Denmark or Sweden. So 36% of Paris is now Muslim. 36% is Muslim, and 53% is foreign born. So the mass majority of their country is not Parisian people. It's not French people. This is people from foreign countries, mainly the Middle East and North Africa, with 36% of the country now being Muslim. Radical Muslims. And they're even putting out videos for the Olympics saying, if you come here, don't dress a certain way if you're a woman, don't go out unless you have friends or out past any certain times, and don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And it's insane because grape is so bad there. It's insane. I've seen videos of men saying there's nothing wrong with doing grape because they think the women want it. And if they're screaming and kicking, it just shows you that they want it even more because they wouldn't make noise if they weren't enjoying it. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. And that's what's going on in Paris. And honestly, with all that going on, I don't see how something like this attack that they're saying will happen won't happen. If Paris was a safe city that didn't have radical Islam in every household, basically, or almost half of all households, and it didn't have a huge grape problem and stabbing problem and violent terrorist problem, I would say the likelihood of this attack going through and happening is very small. But the fact that all of that stuff is happening, all of the things I just previously mentioned, the likelihood is very, very high. And I think if you are going to the Olympics and you see this video, do not go. Don't go. Watch it on TV. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. You can always go to the next Olympic Games, whether winter or summer. I would rather wait another 4 years to go to the Summer Games than go now and end up finding out that this was the last anything I'll ever see because I would be killed. So be smart, be safe if you're going. And if you really are going to go, no matter what, make sure you bring whatever you can to protect yourself. Stay safe, stay alert, and be smart. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, I love you guys. Don't forget to go down there, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you do. It really helps the channel. Not all of you guys are subscribed yet. And share this video if you liked it. And don't forget, please stay safe if you are going to the Olympics. And just stay safe in general. Alrighty, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.